Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm making an old favorite recipe. Look at this cookbook. I've had this for 40 some years and I've used it, well used. And it's the joy of cooking, the original joy of cooking. And this recipe here, this apple peach or plum cake cockaigne it's called, is a favorite of my family. I tried it one time and I had some plums and it's so easy. Sometimes these recipes sort of throw you off by their fancy name, but this one, and you see I've written double, so I double it and it goes in a 9x13 pan. So there were some plums on sale at our grocery store today, so I thought I'm going to use them. And the plums that are best for these are these ones that are kind of really mushy, you see. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is just cut them in half and take the pit out, and that's it. You don't have to chop them up. There's 2 cups of white flour in here, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 4 tablespoons of sugar. So we're just going to mix all to this mixture, this dry mixture in the bowl. I'm going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter. And it's cold butter, so it's not going to be melted. And I'm just going to add that and then mix it in like it's pastry flour. I'm using a bread blender. I forget. I think it's a Danish bread blender. It's from breadtopia.com, and I use it for my bread dough. And it really mixes stuff really, really well. So I'm going to get that all in so it looks like coarse cornmeal. So that's all mixed in. You can see some of the butter there. Next, we're going to take a measuring cup, and you can just use a 1 cup measure if you want to. I'm going to use a tube or a big one because I know it'll overflow. So over here, you want to be able to clearly see where the 1 mark, 2 mark indicators are. So I'm just going to beat these eggs up in here. Here's my bracelets. And then to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and then enough milk to make it to the 1 cup mark. So it's all going to be dependent, obviously, on how large your eggs are as to how much milk you're going to add. And I wanted to say something about these plums. The pit in these, this is the first time in all the years I've made this, that the pit in here was so hard to get out. I don't know what was going on. So I used a tiny little spoon just to scoop it out. So it doesn't really matter that some of them, see, they look fine, but some of them are kind of, the meat in them looks kind of chewed up, but that's okay. You'll see why. I added the liquid to the dry mixture, and then you're just going to mix it up till it makes like a stiff dough. It's quite stiff. So the dough is quite sticky, as you can see. Almost reminds me a little bit of biscuit dough. So you can just smoosh it all out with your hand. But what I do is I take the halves of the plum and I push the dough with the plum halves and then make a nice arrangement of plums and the dough evenly distributed throughout the pan, as you can see. I'll turn them this way. It looks like we'll get more plums in that way. Try to get 4 across. Yeah, and then you just carry on like that until all your plums are placed. And I was amazed the first time I made this how much beautiful purpley juice comes out of plums. I had never baked with them before, and this is the only recipe I've ever made with plums, other than I think I might have one time made plum jam. I don't remember. I said it doesn't matter if the meaty part of the plum got mangled a little bit when you were trying to remove the pit, because you're not going to see that anyway. It's a very pretty dessert. It really is. Very decorative. Everyone thinks, whoa, look what they did. I think I might get 5 across, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll rearrange this because I'm just using one hand. So there's a topping that we add on top of this. This is the one thing I did not double. I just think it's so sweet. It doesn't need more than this. It's 1 cup of brown sugar. I use Demerara brown sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon mixed together and then just sprinkled on top. So the last thing I have here is about 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. And we're just going to drizzle that all over the top of this. And just drizzle, drizzle. And then try and get it all over. There we go. And then we're going to bake this for 25 to 30 minutes at 400 degrees. Let you see how it's bubbling away in there and smells amazing. So here is the finished plum cake. It looks so good, and there's a cake base, so I'll slice it once it's cooled so you can see. So here's the finished plum cake. So you want to taste it? See if it tastes like you remember?
See if I can remember what it tastes like, because I haven't.
We haven't had it for a long time.
Many moons. Okay, here we go. Mmm. Very good. Delicious.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
So give that a try, people. It's called Plum Cake Cockaigne, and it's in, if you have the joy of cooking, it's in that cookbook on page 606, right there. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks for coming into my kitchen, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.